Ella Thirsty Chewey. I grew up at Rocky Mountain Community in Stillwell, Oklahoma. My mother's name was Lucy Nix Thirsty, and my father's name was John Goodmoney Thirsty. I'm the youngest of the whole family, and I'm the only one here today too. We really didn't have any game that we're always just out in the woods, and we would just get leaves and stuff or whatever, even rocks, and we would just throw it at one another, and we'd run and then try to hit, one another with rocks. Nobody got hurt, and there was a certain kind of weed that grew tall, and that's the one and I don't know what they called it, but we would bring that up out of the ground, and it had roots up there, up the top where you pulled it, and then we would have those for our horses. We would just run around, and then we would just chase one another with them. And we had a hill that where my sister lived, oldest sister, and we would make our own sled, and with boards, and two long boards, one in the front and one in the back, and one right in the middle. And the middle part of the board was our brake, and that was the only thing that would stop us going down the hill. We would go around trees and around in the hill, and I mean that hill was high hill. And then on top of that, we did a lot of swimming there, because we had a creek right by where my sister lived, and we always swam there. And we would wrestle and push everybody in that we could get hold of. And of course the boys, they were a lot older than me. I was picked on because I would fight them back, and they would give me Charlie horse on my legs, and so that's where I learned how to be a tough woman. We'd have playhouses, and we'd cut trees, make a fence, and to make like a living room or a bedroom. We also learned how to make dolls out of clay. And it had to be that red clay, and we would make big dolls and stuff, just make it flat, make a head, and then when it dried, it was heavy. We put legs on it and all that. A tree with a Y, so that would be the legs. And then back then they had tow sacks for, I guess, feed and corn. So we would take that and pull the strings. But here for the top, we would leave the top part and we would nail it somehow. And then you could curl that toe sack, and it would get real curly. And then if you wanted to make a face, well, you just put whatever you wanted to put on there. You could make a clay head if you wanted to, and put little black things here and there. And the arms, you just put another stick. For us kids, we had quite a few neighbors, and so we would have the kids come over and we would play marbles. And I think I had the most marbles because I was winning, because I was actually a tomboy. I would hang around with them boys, we'd play marbles, and we would gather all them marbles and see how many marbles we would have. And I would have the most, because once you put them in a pile, you had to have a certain marble to spread them out. So I must have had a bigger marble to, whenever I hit them, well, they just go outside the ring. Mom had company. Um, she would call us kids. Said, all right, said, now I got company, so y'all gonna have to go outside. They never let us in the house because it was all grown up talk. If she was gonna feed people, well, they were the first one to eat, and we were the last, but she always saved, something for us. And but after dinner, everything had to be washed. And I'm glad she done that because that's where I learned how to do a lot of work. Went to school at Rocky Mountain, and we would walk. So we come around that mountain and go through the fields and cross the where there was a garden or something, we'd crawl over that fence and get to school. We didn't have a bus to ride, we walked. They would bring clothing, and they would let the whole community know that they brought these army jackets, the men wore in wintertime. So the parents would all go there and get them jackets, and they would make coats for us. And so that was our winter coats for the year. They used to give stamps a long time ago to buy a pair of shoes. And each kid had a book when they needed shoes. And the only thing I hated was when we did have shoes, they used to wear them long stocking, wool stocking, and we would roll them up, clear up here to the thigh, and then we got close to schoolhouse where we'd roll them down, and there would be like a donut down there. We had fixed a garden below the house, and we had tomatoes, we had onions, we had just about everything that we could plant. And then if they could get meat some kind in town, sometime a truck would come, even to bring lard and stuff like that. And Mom would go up there and stay in line. I don't know how long, but she would come home with meat. She would come home with lard, and that's how we lived. And they taught me how to fish and just when to hit it. So then my cousin would take me too fishing and hunt for crawdads and stuff. And it was just all, something that kids don't even do today.